Hello, my little balls of sunshine. Guess what? We've got 2 more weeks left of online learning. This week is our economic summative. So you've got 2 lessons. Lesson number 1 is going to be a study guide for that economic summative that I do want you to complete. And then lesson number 2 is just the summative. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through lesson number 1 really quickly, that assignment there. So you'll go into lesson number 1. This is the video that you're watching, completing this week's lessons. And then this is the economic summative review. When you click on this, you're going to get this study guide pulled up. So what you're doing here is using the economic vocabulary PDF and the flashcards you've created, study and memorize the definitions of these words that you see right here. If you go back to Schoology, you can see those resources in the folder. So right here, the Economic Summative Review, that's that assignment you're on. And then this Economic Vocabulary 1 PDF, if you click into that, what's going to come up for you is this sheet right here. And this is not that slideshow. I took the slideshow of the economic vocab off because it was taking so incredibly long to load. This is just a Word document that has the word and then the definition. So you should have made flashcards for most of these words already, but if you haven't, now's your chance, right? So you can make flashcards of these words. You could open this page up and print it, and then cut out these words and glue the definitions and the word onto a note card, right? Make your own flashcards where you wouldn't have to write it out, whatever you want to do. But somehow you need to study and memorize all of these words here. All of these words will be on your summative. Okay, you have to know the definition of all of those. What I'd like you to do on your study guide is study those words, right? And as you feel confident in learning them, you're going to click over that word, highlight it, and then I want you to choose this little paintbrush here and pick a highlight color, something that I can see black over. Like if you choose a highlight color that's, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So say you choose like this dark cyan. It's really hard for me to read the black there. So what I want you to do is choose a light highlight color. And as you feel confident in each of these words, go ahead and highlight them, right? Highlight all those words that you feel confident in. And then by the time you get done to the bottom, you'll know the words that aren't highlighted probably need to be studied. So that's the first part of your study guide. The next part of your study guide is to think back of our types of economies notes. If you look that up in your Google Drive, you should have it. Just look up like types of economies notes, economy notes, whatever you titled that as. You will remember that it looked something like this, right? Where you had the type of economy and then you had the details on the jobs, taxes, laws, and what places have it. If you don't have this available in your Google Drive, like you can't find this, or maybe you didn't do this assignment, you'll notice that you can use Schoology and pull that document up. So again, you'd go back to the lesson 1 folder. And another resource that you might use while completing your study guide is this Notes on Economies Completed document. So you pull that up, and when you click into that, this will come up. All right, so now you've got these 2 tabs open, this online summative review and then your Notes on Economies. Let's look at this. So it says, next, think back to our types of economies notes, open it up in your Google Drive, think about the readings and the videos we've watched on the different types of economies. In this section, next to the economy name, put a place or group that has that type of economy. Then list 2 things that make that group that economy. So, for example, number 1 says traditional. I would look back at my notes, and here it says traditional economy. And then it tells me right in this section who has it. It says Native American tribes like the Inuit. So I'm going to put in this section Native American tribes like the Inuit. Be specific here. The Inuit portion is the most important section, right? We want to know that it's not just any Native American tribe, but the Inuit specifically. Then it says, what makes a community a traditional economy? List 2 things. So I'm going to think back for a second. And I remember that when I was studying traditional economy, we watched that video on the Inuit, right? What made that a traditional economy is, let's look here. So we'll look at our notes. Jobs are passed down from generation to generation. Boom. I remember in that movie that the grandfather passed down his job to his son or his grandson. So I'm just going to put passes down jobs from generation to generation. Go back and fix my spelling. And then let's look back at our notes. What else does it say? There are no taxes. People trade for what they need. The whole group decides the laws together. They don't change very much. Native American tribes like the Inuit have it. There's also a focus on agricultural and farming jobs. So I would put there too that I remember in that movie, there was a focus on agricultural jobs like hunting, right? Agriculture is anything where you're harvesting food, you're getting some sort of food for yourself or your community. Okay, so that's how you do this section. And then you'd look back at the market economy, right? Check out the market economy. Remember market economy, we just read about that market economy, that gross meat factory. So, think back to the sources that we used and then use that as a guide for filling this out. And then what you need to do is memorize this stuff. So there's going to be a question on your summative that says, who has a traditional economy? And then it's going to ask for one or more examples of why that place is a traditional economy. Okay, so having the study guide filled out and memorized will help you with that test. All right. That's how you do this week's lesson. So that's lesson 1. And then once you've completed all that, you go back and you'll go into lesson 2. And literally the only thing in lesson 2 is your summative. Okay, I want you guys to really take your time on it, focus on it, and that's what you'll do for that. Okay. All right.